this guy's the worst. He doesn't call me, doesn't communicate, hasn't got me to approve yet. He tells me tomorrow. Today's topic is going to be walking the compliance line. How great brokers actually win a deal without having to break the rules. As brokers, we know that we're hired to solve problems. Our clients also expect us to find a way to get the deal done, or get it approved, get it over the finish line. Sometimes we have to get creative. Crossing the line does not mean that it's not going to be compliant. There's a lot of times that you always try to find different ways of actually getting a deal done. What is a broker's real job?
Many people think it's simply finding the lowest rate. That's only part of it. Broker's real job is to understand the client's goals, match them with the appropriate financing, explain options honestly, navigate the process, and advocate for the client within lender guidelines.
But understand this though, we're really not miracle workers.
No, we're not. I would never say we're miracle workers, but it comes down to dealing with the right broker that knows their product. We are problem solvers, not rule breakers. But I always tell people, you have to tell me everything, because that one thing that you don't tell me could be what blows up the deal. So by you being professional and knowing what questions to ask, a dead deal becomes a doable deal because you understand the situation, you understand the client, and now you can reassure the lender that this client's not going to default. A lot of people don't even know, if they ask a little couple more questions, they don't have to omit, because there's a reason for it.
Not every client fits the same lender. Don't ever omit information when you're going ahead and presenting a deal to a broker or a banker or whoever you're dealing with. Always provide them the incorrect information up front so that you as the client know you're not wasting your time. You're not collecting all the documents. Here's my problem. Can you do this deal or not? I cannot. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. You move on to the next one. And I think that should be the perspective or the way that every client should see it. Here's the problem. Can you solve it? You could solve it. Perfect. You cannot. No problem. Let me go ahead and look for someone else. Because what happens a lot of times, you, like they said before, you omit the information. You go through the process, you fill out an application, collect all the docs, ask for day off from your job to be able to either meet for a call or meet for, bring documentation, whatever it is to work on that file. But you knew that automatically from the beginning, had you given them the information, the problem up front, it would have been able to been solved, and you would have been able to pivot somewhere else. And that's really what working the file really means, is having the person that is capable to solve your issues.
Yeah, and the broker, there's so much value on it because that's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
So they know ins and outs. They know all the lenders. They know all the guidelines. They know exactly where to position you. Now, if you just walk into your bank, you have one perspective. Maybe you walk to the second bank next to your house, and then you have two offers. The broker is gonna be able to navigate you much better, get you better terms, lower rates. The value of the broker, I think, is diminished in society because people think that they're just taking advantage of you, but in reality, they're actually helping you out a lot. Even if you don't close a deal with them, at least you know where you at nationwide with all the banks, all the lenders, everywhere.
Most people think that brokers are bad because they're going to charge you more fees, right? It's like, I don't want to deal with broker, I want to deal with direct lender. We hear that all the time.
All day.
But now, if you think about it, right, what do you do when you go and you're trying to look for something? A lot of people are going to go into Lending Tree, right? Let's say Lending Tree. Or now you have Moneyline, you have all these search engines that go ahead and look at different options. Really, they're a broker. If you think about it, they're not just doing it for free and giving you the information.
Money.
They make money on it. You just don't see it as a consumer.
And they sell your information. And you got 100,000 phone calls the next day.
A lot. We've seen them, and we got complaints for clients. But you know what? A broker really is a person that has a marketplace, financial marketplace that allows you to shop for different types of approvals, different types of deals. And at the end of the day, you want to go to a broker because the broker is going to have all these different options for you.
Right.
He's going to have different lenders fighting over your deal. At the end of the day, who's going to come out winning? The consumer is, the client, because this lender wants your business, so he's going to lower his fees. This lender wants your business, so he's going to give you a better rate. So at the end of the day, working with a broker is not a bad thing. And I think that's the bad stigma that a lot of people have to get over. It's not. And at times, you're not even getting charged these broker points, right? Because either the brokers or the company has a relationship with the lender where they're built in, et cetera. So there's a lot of different things that are a lot of different benefits to working with a broker.
And also, I think the brokers know so many different programs as well that you don't even know exist. So you have your mind set into, let's say, a refinance or whatever, and then the broker will be like, why you refinance? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Like, they're going to give you options as well. So I think there's a lot of value.
We have a HELOC Express program where there are origination fees, right? For business purpose HELOCs. There's origination fees. However, we had a client that came to me and said, hey, my credit union is charging me $600 in origination fee, and they're giving me a little bit higher rate than yours, but I don't want to pay the origination fees that you're providing. Comparing the credit union to our HELOC Express program, as far as the origination fees that you had, how to, I don't want to say overcome that obstacle, but how to share, just compare them.
It's because they give this illusion that their promotion, zero closing costs, but it isn't, because then they have you take out a minimum. It could be anywhere from $25,000, $50,000, and keep it out for a year. To you, it's just interest payments, but to them, they're making their closing costs back. And they tell you if you pay it off within a year, then you get hit with closing costs. So you're still going to get hit. Then one of my clients mentioned, oh, well, if I go to so-and-so bank, I pay zero closing costs. I don't have to keep anything out. I did a quick search. They were charging 3 points. Physical appraiser had to come there. Then they had county fees, transfer tax. So I sat there and was like, hold on, are you looking at the promotion or the fine print? And then we went over it. Right now I'm about to fund them for $448,000 line of credit. And it's just, you just have to know your product. That's all it is as a broker.
Look at the fine print all the time, because even if you go to, let's say, you pick your favorite credit union, if they do HELOCs, you'll see on there that's the promotional. He's right. It's the promotional rate. And sometimes I think that's only for 6 months or 12 months. Yep. After that, it's going to adjust.
Also, variable rate doesn't mean that your rate's going to get worse.
Oh, yeah.
It might get better.
Correct.
Because the variable is the prime. So if the prime goes down, your rate goes down. So it's not always bad.
What are some of the biggest compliance mistakes that brokers make?
If you get in this business as a banker or broker, stop guessing the information you need. Verify it. If it's DSCR, debt, rental income, verify it. Value of property, verify it. If it's occupied or vacant, verify it. And it takes 2 seconds. That's why I think it's a big pet peeve for me. Because 9 out of 10 times someone says they need my help, and then I just ask basic questions that they say, oh yeah, I should ask that question. What?
Or I'm assuming.
100%.
I don't know, but I think.
Or it should be, what, you have the guy on the phone. You don't have to guess anymore.
Yeah.
But and to me, that shows me that you're not taking, this is just a job for you. It's not a career. Because anybody takes something that serious, career, you learn about it, you live it, you obsess about it, and you don't want to waste your time. If a client doesn't qualify, it's not just about you. Get them on the phone. I get them off the phone. I have clients, I'm like, this deal just doesn't work. And they said, thank you. Okay, I got another one for you. And sometimes I educate them in the process.
Yeah.
So when we have like affiliates come on and they bring a deal, I don't say, oh, we just can't do the deal. I'll explain to them. I'll like, look at the debt to income. Your client's asking for 80%, but the rent only covers it 65 LTV. And I walk them through it.
Verify everything, even credit scores. Understand why does that client have whatever credit score they currently have. If your credit score that you are going to get approved for is based on Experian, I'm only talking about Experian now. First option is go ahead and see how many inquiries you have had in the last 90 days, or how many inquiries you have on your report, and find out if you are able to challenge them. Second is Experian has this cool feature called Experian Boost.
Yep.
Where you can go on there and you are able to go ahead and I believe add like a Con Edison bill, a utility bill.
They connect with Plaid.
Is that what it is?
And then they check what qualifies for their boost.
Perfect.
So if you're doing like monthly payments on bills, they see the recurring, and then they be like, all right, let's boost this guy up.
Go to Experian.com and look, click on Experian Boost. The third one, that the client is able to call up their current credit card company and ask for an increase of limit. Now, a lot of clients fail that because they're unaware that every 6 months you're able to ask for a limit increase.
Correct.
So if your limit increases, your debt essentially drops, right? Because you have more a higher limit, and your credit score gets better. Some solutions are 24 to 48 hours. Some solutions may be 30 days, but at least you know you're on the right path to actually go ahead and solve the problem. What do you think are one of the biggest mistakes that brokers make?
I think the worst one for me is over-promising the approvals and timelines.
I agree with that
X
one.
amount, and then I'm gonna get you in a week, and you know that that's not feasible, and I think that's the worst one because it puts everybody in jeopardy. It's just so bad all the way. The entire experience for the client's gonna go bad.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get phone calls. You're gonna get phone calls all the time. You told me this. You told me on this day I'm closing. You told me I would get this. I would get that. Definitely, I would say, and I know I've known a few brokers that do that, but they feel that that's the way to win a deal or to win the client, right? But when you set unrealistic expectations, it also tarnishes your reputation, right? Because especially if you're taking this as a career,
And it stresses you out.
yeah, 100%. People are going to start. Then they'll leave bad reviews. Remember, nowadays, the client has a much higher voice than they did before.
100%.
Because think of them leaving a review from you on your Google, let's say a Google review, or if the company's with the Better Business Bureau, leaving a review on there. Now, another client comes in to look for the same product that you offer, and then they read this bad experience that the client had with you. That's it. It's done. Right. And I just think that definitely, especially as a broker, reputation, if your reputation is the main thing that you have to make sure that does not get tarnished.
I think that's a sign of someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's fear. They're scared that their client's not going to close with them. They're scared their client won't accept their terms. That logic doesn't make sense to me. Because if you know your product, you can convince them you're the man for the job. They'll stay with you. Just be realistic. I think brokers that lie about time and aren't transparent about the process, it's because they can't convey confidence that they're the person for the job to the client.
The issue is that they're not really lying about it. The program does go all the way up to here, and it does close as fast as this.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, off the best case scenario, you have an 850 credit score. It's impeccable, and it's a perfect case. And then if you speak that, the client's gonna hold you to it. I guarantee you, the client's gonna hold you.
That's all they're going to hear is that perfect scenario.
Yeah,
You told me.
It's a great marketing strategy to bring them on the door, but the first call, you have to set the expectations. Like, hey, on a perfect case scenario, we'll be looking at a 10 days close and at these types of rates. It's not your case, so we're gonna be in between, right? Correct. If you don't have the tax return, if you don't have the paperwork in order, there's no way. It's not a clean file. It's not gonna close in 10 days. It's gonna take a little longer. There's manual review. You really need to set the expectation.
Correct.
Don't just reinforce the marketing, because the marketing job is to get the people through the door. Your job is to set the expectations and push the file through.
What if you set the expectations correctly, but the deal legitimately just can't get past it, right? Let's say underwriting pushes back, right? The underwriter's pushing back on the file for whatever reason. What should a broker do in that case?
Understand why.
Okay.
Right? You have to get on the phone to underwriter. If you really care about your file, you need to get someone on the phone. You need to talk through it. Because I've seen so many files die just by someone getting a decline and not knowing that they could have fixed it. Or the underwriter didn't understand the file. Is there another acceptable way to verify income and assets? Is there a guideline exception available? Does another lender have a program better fit for the client? The big guidelines for FHA, conventional, DSCR, fix and flips, there's always an exception to the rule. Every lender has it. But most people, like I said, get comfortable with the 2, 3, 4 products they have. And then they never focus on the exceptions.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the real wins. And that's where you get customer loyalty. Everyone has a lateness somewhere. Everyone has a charge off somewhere. There's people that collect rent and don't even put it in their bank account. They go shopping with it. So how are we verifying deposits? There's so many different things, but you have to know the exception.
You have to be able to set your emotion aside. You cannot have any emotion. Hey, the underwriter declined the file. Man. You know, how many times we hear that all the time?
Yep.
You know, but why? But this, but that, they suck, etc. No, it's not. Or hey, listen, they're requesting this document. But why? Oh, man. Okay, listen, they're the one with the money, unfortunately, right? They're the ones with the money. They want the guy to go and get a blood sample. Does he want this money? Is it worth it to him? Tell the guy to go get a blood sample.
But then also explain to your client, listen, these are initial documents. I will come back for more if I need to, but if I don't need to, I will not ask you for another doc. You have to make it clear to the client the process.
Yeah.
Not just a day or two. You got to let them know, listen, I'm going to need docs right now. The underwriter has the right to ask for more because you are asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But after they review, I'm going to come back. Hopefully, it will probably be 1 or 2 documents. And then if it's more, I'll explain to you why. I'll never ask you for a document just to ask you. I'll explain it to you. And until you I will 2-3 times until you understand. And then you get me the docs, and then most likely we'll close.
Yeah.
But also be transparent on what can happen. Listen, they're going to do a background check. They're going to do a title report. They're going to make sure see if any liens, judgments. They're going to do a background check on you. They're going to take a background check on the seller. They're going to take a background check on your bank statements because per the Patriot Act for money laundering and fraud.
Correct.
If that communication happened every single deal, none of your deals are going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guarantee you.
Exactly.
As a broker, I don't get paid if the client doesn't close.
Correct.
You don't get paid if the client doesn't close.
Correct.
Our interests are aligned. So trust me that we're not trying to hide anything from you to be able to not close the deal. Because if we don't close the deal, it means that we spend all this time to trying to get a deal done. Right. And we knew, like, think about it, how crazy that sounds. I know that I'm going to need this document. I know that I can't get the deal done. So I'm going to work all this time on doing all this and then have a chance of actually losing the deal and not closing it. So I just spent my time for nothing. Not at all. So don't always think that either the lender is hiding information from you or that they don't want all the information up front. Things just come up at times.
Yeah.
That's why I think communication is always very, very important.
Even if you don't have anything to say
something.
Communicate.
Yes.
Like, hey, we're still waiting for updates. I didn't forget about you or whatever the case may be. We're still waiting for updates. I'm going to check in tomorrow and then hopefully I'll have some good news for you tomorrow. Next day comes, you don't have any news yet. Like, hey, we're still waiting for Chase to get back to us. It's not done yet. I'm going to keep you posted. I'll check in tomorrow again and just keep doing. I know it's boring. I know you're not going to have the face for it, but that's going to make the client stick around with you.
But if you have a lot of clients, and that's a good problem to have, know how to manage your technology. We talk about CRMs all the time, right? But now also too, something as simple as, if you start your day very early, right? Depending on when you start your day, but let's say you start your day very early. Yes, if you have an iPhone, you can send messages later. Put the message together and have it sent out at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, or they're in Cali and you're in New York or on the East Coast. Have it set for the time that it's going to be reasonable for the client to be able to reply back, right? Know your resources as well as what you have because you want to be able to inform the client, right? Radio silence is bad because then the client thinks that you forgot about them. You're not working on their file. And that leads to clients going somewhere else or looking for another option while you may be either looking for more options for them. One example that I give everyone all the time is it's better to tell the client, no, I can't do the deal, and come back with them later on with, hey, listen, I was thinking about you. There's this program that I have now available and I can get you approved.
If you touch bases with the client every day, like, hey, we're still waiting, at least you not only in front of the client, but you also remind yourself to check in with the lender.
Yeah.
Because the lenders are busy over there. You're busy over here. And then you have another 15 files. You completely forgot about that guy. Like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that deal. Oh, let's check the status. And then they ask for a document that it's hidden inside your CRM. You don't even remember that anymore. Like, how am I going to, 2 weeks later, I'm going to ask for a copy of the credit report, whatever the case may be, like something so simple that will take them 5 minutes to provide you. Yeah. You're going to take you 15 days to get a 5-minute update from the client.
Let's assume that a client asks you to do something that you would consider inappropriate, right? How would you handle that?
I wouldn't do it because there's 2 relationships you have to hold sacred, right? It's your lending partner and the client. Because that client only cares about their transaction, but that lender helps you provide for yourself and your family. So if you start lying, conveying lies to your lender, and let's say that client defaults, the client starts missing payments, guess what? That lender's not going to do your deals anymore, because they do actually keep a track of how many deals you close with them, how many you submit, how many fund, how many default, how many need loan modifications. So it's not just that one transaction that could cause a lender to say, I don't want to do business with you anymore. Now, is that one client worth that?
100% not.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just not worth it. And ethically, there's a lot of people in this business, but it's also small. If you're a licensed loan officer, they mark you on your license. If a client defaults, you have to buy back the loan. Mm-hmm. Even on our end, on commercial mortgages, some lenders we deal business with, if you're late, if you don't make your first payment on time, it's a first payment default. We have to buy back the loan. If a client doesn't make a payment, is late during the first 6 months, we have to buy back the loan.
If I see they're lying, or if the banks are changing, like he's changing flags, so he's changing from Chase to Wells Fargo to whatever. It's like if I see too many of those, I don't do anything about it. Yeah, inconsistencies. I don't do anything about it, but I warn the broker that I'm giving the file to, be like, hey, take a look at this, because this doesn't look right. Because I've seen enough files to know if they move through or not. So I usually am pretty good at flagging it before.
Based on my experience, these documents don't look right. Right. First is going to be, hey, listen, this is how the bank sent it to me. This is how the broker that I was working with sent them to me. Whatever the case may be. Okay, I can review the real documents if you want. Sometimes the real documents may just be okay. Right. Definitely, but clients do never ever submit altered documents, because I mean it definitely is something that, I mean, because if we submit altered documents, right, if you're getting a mortgage and you submit altered documents to a bank, changing the bank statements is fraud, but that's also a federal offense because it's with a bank. You know what I'm saying? So definitely altered bank statements is something you do not want to do. Inflating income, you're going to find out. You're going to find out one way or another, because you're going to have to verify that income, especially if you're doing a HELOC program, etc. Don't think that these programs are stated. They're not. You may have to state them in the beginning to just get a soft approval, but they're going to want to be verified. That stated program that they had back in 2008 is no longer available. Label the documents correctly. Mm-hmm. Provide prompt responses when the underwriter asks you for updated information. Make sure it's accurate information, because you do not want to go back and then change the information that you initially provided. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, because one, for me, I take every file personally. I don't want you to look at my files and say, oh, this knucklehead, oh, this idiot, oh, this person. So you want to make sure that you have that. And then lastly, it's a complete file. Do not put everything in an email, one email. So they don't, it's not their job to search for your docs, right? Make it easier for them. Put everything together in one email, labeled correctly. The subject line, right? It's just for borrower such and such. If it's a mortgage, this is the property address, borrower's name, address, program. So that now they know. And then when you search it, right, and you go in the search bar because you need to follow that file, you can pull up the name if that's what you remember, and it's right there. Make sure your emails, right, your emails are all in what is called a communication or talkative setting, where everything is on the same chain. Make sure everything is on the same chain, so you don't have to go back and search for different or click on different emails. Everything is there. It's in the form of a communication.
Is this a career or a job? So it comes down to two parts of your relationship, right? Trust, being confident, and knowing your product. Those three things will help you with your customers and even your lenders. Because if they trust you, they know you're knowledgeable about the product you're selling, you could build those relationships and get referrals from it. So when that underwriter processor sees an email from you, they get that sense of urgency, because they're like, oh, if I jump in another file, this is going to take me an hour. If I jump in Stanley's file, normally he's quick, 5-10 minutes, I'll be done. So they'll choose my file over someone else's. A person that knows the product, the person that picks up my phone calls after 5 o'clock, the person that answers my calls, my texts on weekends, the person that'll know my schedule's hectic and makes himself available so I can get on a call. Those extra stuff win you deals. But it all starts from your presentation of being honest. If you could do the deal, tell me you could do it, but be confident that you can. And when you can't, be honest. I can't tell you how many deals I've won just by telling them this ain't the deal for me, and they're like, okay, I'll try you with the next one. So that's just honesty and be consistent.
Communication is key in this industry. I think communication is the number one. Because if you have good communication with the client, you win the client over. You have good communication with the lender, you win the lender over. I think communication is everything on both sides. Stay persistent and HELOC, bro. HELOC everybody.
Yeah.
HELOC everybody.
Remember that the best brokers aren't the ones that take shortcuts. So that's plain and simple. Don't take a shortcut to be able to get a deal done. They find solutions. They understand and follow the guidelines. They can communicate clearly the deal. They can communicate the deal clearly to the underwriter, and they can understand the deal clearly from the client. Prepare complete files. In order for you to be successful in this space, you have to be a master of your craft. In order for you to do so, you have to follow each one of those bullet points, because that's how you're going to stay on top, and that is how you're going to be remembered, because you're not looking to just close one deal with these clients. You're looking to go ahead and close every single deal that they may have under their portfolio, or help the client become bankable, and you're going to go ahead and close every single deal along the way.
Yeah, correct.
On that note, thank you very much for watching.
The Deal Room by Brokers Connection.